Welcome to This Explainer. You know, tonight, millions of people are going to wake up in the dark, and they'll probably just write it off as a mundane, kind of annoying part of getting older. But what if I told you that beneath the surface of that simple interruption lies a completely hidden operating system? Today, we're diving deep to uncover the invisible biological forces that are secretly dictating your aging process, your cognitive decline, and your daily performance. So what cascade of biological alarms is actually going off inside you every single night? When you open your eyes at 3 a.m., you aren't just experiencing a weak bladder. Not at all. What you're actually experiencing is a profound breakdown in the way your nervous system, your hormones, and your circadian rhythms communicate with each other. This condition, which is medically known as nocturia, is silently interrupting your body's critical recovery phase. It literally yanks you out of deep cellular repair and throws you right back into a stressed survival mode. And to really grasp the sheer scale of this invisible crisis, think about this number for a second. $62.5 billion. That is the annual cost in the United States alone. And that's driven by lost productivity, exhausted workers, sick leave, and devastating physical injuries, all stemming from this one widely dismissed symptom. It's a massive systemic crisis hiding right in plain sight. And the real-world physical stakes are honestly just as high. A full 25% of all overnight falls in older adults are the direct result of waking up to urinate. Think about it. Waking up in the pitch dark in a state of sleep-induced disorientation completely shatters your balance and actually doubles the risk of life-altering fractures. So we're not just talking about feeling a little tired the next day. This is a chain reaction that can permanently alter the trajectory of a person's longevity. Section 1. The body's hidden clocks. Discovering the rhythm of your organs. So, to understand why these nighttime interruptions happen, we have to look past the symptoms and uncover a pretty shocking biological reality, which is that your individual organs can actually lose track of time. We usually think of the brain as having one master clock, right? But the truth is, light acts as our primary Zeitgeber, which literally means a time giver. When your eyes detect the shift from day to night, the retina sends this incredibly elegant biological message deep into your body. This signal actually synchronizes the isolated, totally independent genetic clocks operating inside your bladder and kidneys, telling them exactly how to behave so you can sleep deeply. This reveals such a deep evolutionary design. During the day, in your weak phase, your kidneys filter at high speed and your bladder operates with a lower capacity. You're active, you're flushing waste. But during your sleep phase, an intricate genetic balance completely rewires the system. Urine production slows down to an absolute crawl, and your bladder fundamentally expands its capacity. It physically changes its own operational parameters just to protect your rest. But what happens when that internal clock breaks? Well, deep inside the bladder's lining, the urothelium, are these microscopic physical stretch sensors like PISA-1. When your master timing genes, which are called clock and BMAL1, get disrupted by poor light habits or stress, these sensory channels go completely rogue. They become hypervigilant, triggering massive releases of ATP and basically screaming to your brain that the bladder is completely full even when it's totally empty. And we can actually see this genetic time blindness proven in the lab. Normal mice maintain perfectly synced, low nighttime voiding, but when scientists knock out these specific clock genes, the mice completely lose their diurnal rhythm. Their nighttime voiding just skyrockets, proving that what we so often dismiss as a simple bladder issue is actually a profound circadian rhythm disorder happening at the cellular level. Section 2. The sleep apnea paradox, when an oxygen problem disguises itself as a bladder problem. Now, we're going to explore a truly terrifying scenario where the biological clock is actually working perfectly, but the alarms are still going off anyway. We're about to uncover this hidden, totally counterintuitive connection between your airway, your heart, and your kidneys. When someone has obstructive sleep apnea, their airway collapses. Gasping for air against that blocked airway causes a severe drop in oxygen, which triggers a reflexive constriction in the lungs. This builds immense pressure inside the right atrium of the heart. So the heart panics, believing the body is experiencing dangerously high blood pressure, and it secretes a powerful hormone called atrial natriuretic peptide, or ANP. This hormone rushes to the kidneys, literally forcing them to rapidly flood the bladder to lower blood volume. This demands an absolute paradigm shift in how we view our bodies. For nearly half of the patients suffering from sleep apnea, their nighttime trips to the bathroom are actually a cardiovascular cry for oxygen. The bladder is perfectly innocent here. It's simply catching the flood of fluid commanded by a panicked heart that's literally suffocating in the dark. Section 3. The ripple effect on aging. How fragmented sleep silently accelerates systemic decline. This brings us to a really profound realization of what this chronic interruption actually does to our longevity over time. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a silent accelerator for systemic aging that compounds over decades. Every single time you wake up to void, you are literally shattering your slow-wave sleep architecture. You are robbing your brain of the exact phase of sleep it desperately needs for cognitive repair and emotional regulation. And that triggers a destructive cascade. It ruins metabolic health, it drives daytime exhaustion, and it significantly spikes overall mortality rates. People who suffer from multiple nightly interruptions aren't just tired, their cells are aging faster. As we map out all these true culprits, from urological overactivity to hormonal imbalances, airway obstruction, and cardiovascular stress, one thing becomes crystal clear. You absolutely cannot treat the human body as a collection of isolated mechanical parts. It's one deeply interconnected biological web. A symptom in the bladder is very often just a distress signal originating all the way from the heart, the airway, or the brain. Section 4. Rewiring the nervous system, neuroplasticity, and the pelvic detrusor reflex. Fortunately, we aren't just at the mercy of these hidden forces. We can actually hack this system. We can use the power of neuroplasticity to consciously alter the reflexive signaling between our muscles and our organs. The key lies in mastering a highly specific neurological loop called the pelvic detrusor infidatory reflex. By intentionally contracting the pelvic floor muscles in a very specific way, we can send an overriding inhibitory signal straight up the spinal cord to the detrusor motor neurons. You are literally using voluntary muscle tension to command your autonomic nervous system to calm down, which delays urgency and fundamentally expands your capacity. Now, this isn't your basic physical therapy. This is an elite-level behavioral rewiring protocol known as the perfect scheme. It evaluates power, the endurance to hold 10-second contractions, the speed of fast twitches, and complex motor coordination. You're physically restructuring your internal support network and literally forcing your brain to establish new, significantly stronger communication pathways with your organs. And you have to notice the escalating neurological demand here. Starting at 75 repetitions a day, the protocol aggressively scales up to 300 repetitions a day by week 4, and you sustain it for months. This progressive overload forces profound muscular hypertrophy and, more importantly, a long-term neural adaptation that physically extends your uninterrupted sleep window. This really reveals a profound divide in how we treat aging as a whole. While synthetic hormones like desmopressin can offer a temporary chemical fix by targeting kidney receptors to lower water volume, disciplined physical training does something far more powerful. It permanently rewires your nervous system. It's kind of like the difference between endlessly bailing water out of a sinking boat and taking the time to fundamentally rebuild a stronger hull. Health is not a collection of separate habits, but the emergent result of an interconnected biological web. As all of this data shows us, the systemic effects of this condition extend way beyond simple sleep interruption. And that leads us to one incredible, overarching realization. Health is the emergent result of countless interconnected biological processes occurring every single moment of every single day. Your sleep influences your hormones influence your mood, your nervous system regulates your inflammation, and that inflammation dictates exactly how you age. When you optimize just one signal, you optimize the whole web. So what small biological signal will you choose to change today to rewrite your own operating system?